Right, Puffins, we're going to have a look at the number formation booklet, and we've already done 0 and number 1, so the next number is 2. So if you find the page, and when you found the page, stand up and we'll draw it in the air first of all, okay? So number 2, right, starts like this. Look, it's got like a hook that curves over, and then a straight diagonal line down and a straight diagonal line across. So over, diagonal, straight. Alright. It's funny, isn't it? Because most of our letters that we've had to learn go the other way. I wonder why the numbers go an opposite way. Alright, let's do it again. Over, down, okay. Right, let's have a go at drawing those in the book. Now, take your time because I know number 2 can be quite difficult. Oh, that sounds a bit funny. Right, over. And you can see the diagonal part. Here we go, straight diagonal and then straight horizontally back. So it's, if I just do it here first before I go up to this, so it's like a hook, isn't it? A hook, but then it's a straight and a straight. Alright. See that? So let's practice within there. So around the hook, diagonal, and then straight back. So it looks like you're doing a swan almost, doesn't it? There's the swan's head, down the neck, and back for the body. So take your time and practice these. And remember, it might be a good idea. Let's do, say, this line today. And then the next time you do some number formation, you could do this line, because you can go back through the booklets. I don't think I need to practice number 1, but if I wanted to carry on practicing 0, I could go on to the next line if I hadn't filled that one up. Alright, but explore number 2 and take your time, because I know sometimes people will do 2s like this, or we do that, and then they do a big long line. So really think about the size and just take your time. Remember, handwriting isn't a race. Alright, so if you do that bit first, so pause the video. So once you're ready, we'll just revise again one of the long ladder letters, and today it is the letter T. It's the T letter, and just like the L and the I, it's going to start at the top and go down and curve. Okay, so let's have a look at the T quickly. So there it is, and the little rhyme here says, to write the letter T, start at the top, go straight down the ladder and make a curve at the bottom. So there you go, start at the top, straight down the ladder and make a curve at the bottom. But then this is when you have to take your pen off, or your pencil, and then you put a line across the top. Okay? Right, so you can have a go at practicing some of these. Oh, that wasn't very clear, was that? Down and there. And once you've done a few of those, you can go onto the line, can't we? Okay, so we see if we can do that. So start at the top, come down the ladder, curve at the bottom, and then near the top of it, do the line apart across it. So let's try again. Do you think you can do those? Do you notice on here as well, look, this side of the T is slightly smaller than here. It's longer that way, isn't it? And this side is shorter. Right, you do those. I'm going to put the T on these letters, on these words, sorry. Just remember though, a T isn't as tall as a L or a H. So if I went down here, look, it's slightly shorter, but it's taller than the others because you need to do the line across at the same height as the normal letters. Okay, right, if you fill in and practice your T, and when you're ready for reading, then come back to me. Right, if you're ready, do you know, I'm not actually going to put the sound buttons under these words, because these words you should all be able to do, and you should be able to recognise most of the words and repeat, like just say them without sounding them out. So we know this word that just says or A. You can sound this out if you haven't seen it before. F-at, fat, a fat. We've seen this lots, you know what that says. Cat, a fat cat. Oh dear, is it fat? Right here, look above. So really, there's only one word you've got to sound out. So do that for me quickly. Right, you done it? So it says wet cat, a wet cat, or a wet cat. Oh dear, cats don't like getting wet, do they? Right, last one. Now, I reckon 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 4 of these words you should just say. This one on the end you might be able to, but you might have to stand it out. So, 10 seconds, work out that sentence. Right, you got it? So, a cat in a hat. A cat in a hat, or a cat in a hat. They were pretty easy, weren't they? Right, let's go and just practice them on a whiteboard with the cog letters next. Alright, to finish off, I'm just going to use the cog letters first. So let's just do one each of those. So you've got your K, that curves round. The O, which is the same, but you go all the way around. The A, which is the same, but you come straight back down and flick. Trying to keep them all the same height, look. The D, you do the first bit, don't you? But instead of coming straight down, you go up first, do the ascender, and then straight back down and flick. Now, the G, now, got to make sure this goes under the line when you do this one. So, just like the other letters, all the way around. Like the A, straight back down, but you keep going and do the kind of hook that way. Okay. And then the Qu, same as the G. The only difference is you do a straight, kind of ticky looking thing the other way. Now, if there's one of those letters you find particularly tricky, practice those letters for me this morning. So it might be the G today. Go all the way along doing the G. And then at the end, I'm just going to put the long ladder letters we've revised. Now, the L is a tall letter, has an ascender, so it's the same height as the D on the line. The I is the same height as the other letters, but when I take my pen off, I've got to put the tittle above it, but not as high as the L. And then today's letter was the T. Now, the top of the T would start where the tittle is, really. So straight down, curve, and then where the top of the I is where the line across goes. All right. Now, if there's any of those letters you find tricky, practice some of those as well this morning. All right. And then let's write 2 words using some of our letters that we know how to form. So every letter has to be formed correctly. I'm going to start with, oh, I know, something that reminds me of you guys. A toad. Right, everyone say toad, and let's phoneme finger it. Toad. T-O-D. Toad. How many phonemes? Now in the middle, we've got to think about the O phoneme when we get to it. Okay, so toad. Start with the T. So remember it's slightly taller than the other letters. Right, T. Now O, how do you do O? Can you remember? Think of the action in the boat. Goat in the boat, it's the rowing action. It's O is O. And A. So very carefully make sure you go the right way round. And then on the end of toad is a D. And it's just the same as these letters here. You do the K, carry on to do the O. But you go straight up. The ascender's higher than the T. Back down and flick. T-O-D. Toad. Look how neat that is. Gosh, I think I'm improving. Right, one more word to finish off handwriting. And it's goat. Can I make a goat sound first of all? Go on. Oh, you sound like a grumpy goat, some of you. Right, say goat on my phoneme finger. Goat. Goat. G-O-T. Goat. How many phonemes? 3. And then in the middle, we've got the O again. So you should be able to do this one. But let's take our time with the handwriting. Goat. Now really watch the G goes below the line. Make sure it does that on yours if you've got a line. And then the O, the same direction. And then the A, same direction, making sure you always start at the top. And then the T, slightly higher, remember. And the line that goes across is the same height as those. Right, that's handwriting. Well, it's a bit of a long one.